Hey everybody, welcome to episode 47 of Qore, presented by the PlayStation Network. I'm your host, Jesse Blaze Snyder. Step into a magical world of castles, fairy folk, and dungeons filled with monsters in Sorcery. Embark on an epic quest armed only with your wits and the PlayStation Move controller. Harness the elemental forces of nature with a wave of your wand or a flick of your wrist. Mix powerful potions and conjure mystical spells to defeat the forces of darkness in this motion-controlled action-adventure game. Then, augmented reality, cloaking technology, and modular 21st century weapons make the leap from science fiction to the battlefield in Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Equip yourself with the military's most advanced weapons and surveillance tools to take out your objective and disappear without a trace. And become a shape-shifting mutant with incredible powers in Prototype 2. In this sequel, you're out for revenge, and your mutant powers are your only ally. Learn to embrace these new abilities, and you'll become an unstoppable killing machine. And Tiffany's taking us inside a magical 3D movie in this month's Blu-ray Spotlight.
That's right, Jesse. This month we're putting on our 3D glasses for Hugo, Martin Scorsese's Ode to the Cinema. And this movie has got everything. Dazzling special effects, clocks, orphans, robots, and Borat.
Seems Maximilian doesn't like the cut of your jib, little man.
Also this month, we say goodbye as Qore's run on the PlayStation Network comes to a close. In this final episode, we'll be taking a look back at the groundbreaking games, the amazing people, and the fantastic places we visited over the past 4 years. It's been a great run. Enjoy episode 47, and I'll see you on the inside. Hey everybody.
Hey everyone. Hey there. Hey there, my fellow achievers.
4 years, 47 episodes, hundreds of groundbreaking games, and countless interviews with the talented artists and developers who make the games that we all play. We've had a great time creating Qore for you each and every month on the PlayStation Network. Here's a look back at some of our favorite moments from Qore.
Cover her naughty bits.
Here we go.
We can build to that. That was hip.
For the Chocobos!
An epic adventure requires an epic score.
Last thing I need is to get monkey terrorized from Japan.
Right next to Seattle's iconic Space Needle at the Experience Music Project.
Heard about it? I think that everybody's waiting for Gran Turismo.
I just really want to punch you a lot.
This is gonna end well.
This was pretty awesome. One step closer to being a pro.
Zombie aliens, I think. They move kind of slow. I don't know.
Just like making love.
Have we got a Blu-ray Spotlight for you this month? Hello from Sin City.
We lost Doug.
Watch out for those nihilists, all right?
Great Scott. I know, this is heavy.
Is it the apocalypse already? All aboard, because our next stop is a doozy. Can you think of a better way to kick off 2012? Because we can't. Bring it. I'm Audrey, and I'll be right back. Until next time, I'm Tiffany Smith. And this clever girl's out of here.
We kind of put everything else through what we call like the Digital Extremes blender.
We caught up with one of the Super Suit's master tailors to see if they delivered.
We have so many vehicles in Battlefield, there's plenty.
If you can see it, you can ride it.
This is not a time for negotiation.
So Street Fighter and Tekken crossing over two huge rival fighting games. How did this even come about?
Nice knowing you!
Lasers are a great way to burn things.
That's true.
All the noobs are going to be playing with the turrets, destroy them, and you win.
Psych out! Captain, we are under attack!
I like having fun when I'm making a game, and I think that hopefully just comes through in the game itself.
I'll just get right to the ass kicking.
Your brain says, that's 3D.
The music for Drake's Fortune was really wonderful. What did you want to bring to the sequel?
It's nuance that elevates it to a superior art form. If you can bring all those elements together, we can raise the bar.
One hard-working leading woman, Amy Hennig. It's another sleepless year for Insomniac Games.
There's so many options for people in terms of how you make games and what you're going to make. I think it's still the Wild West.
Before we go, we just want to take a minute to thank everybody who has helped to make Qore possible over the years, past and present. And especially want to thank you for downloading and watching our show each and every month. We'd be nothing without you.
I'll see you on the inside.
Prepare to enter a world of magical doors, hidden treasures, and enchanted forests where danger lurks around every corner. You're an unwelcome visitor here, and that's not good. The only things that can save you now are your wits and your trusty magic wand in the form of a PlayStation Move controller. I hope you've brushed up on the basic spells, young apprentice, because your casting skills are about to be put to the ultimate test in Sorcery. For our first lesson in motion-controlled spellcasting, we turn to a couple of wizards who helped conjure up this magical game.
So the story of Sorcery is a hero's journey. It's the story of a farm kid who wants to be a wizard and then goes out to find a magical universe behind every hidden door. At the beginning of the game, our hero, Finn, is starting off as an apprentice in the tower in the town of Ordale on this beautiful lake. He's talking to his friend and his comrade in arms, Erline, who's a magical talking cat.
It sharpens the wits. Of course, that's assuming you have wits to begin with.
She jokes around a lot, pokes and prods him because he's trying to be a wizard, but he's only an apprentice.
Not bad for an apprentice.
Once the game really starts rolling and the story starts moving along, we find that Finn has made a couple of mistakes, opened a couple of doors, and touched a couple of things that he probably shouldn't have. And so with that, the universe starts to crumble around him.
Using your PlayStation Move controller, you'll interact with the world and fight off the evil creatures that inhabit it, starting with your first spell, Arcane Bolt.
Basically, it's just a bolt of energy you can shoot at enemies, and you use that a lot throughout the entire game, just as your basic combat mechanic. But then you get a bunch of other spells as you go further on.
As the game's difficulty ramps up, you discover new magic spells to add to your repertoire.
In many points in the game, we give you new spells. It's the high point of high points, when you grab something new and a new power and be able to figure it out, but we just don't give it to you. You have to figure out how to use it.
You get an ice spell, a fire spell, a wind spell, a lightning spell. And what's interesting then is you can take these basic spells and each have their own casting mechanics and then combine them to get combo spells that are even more powerful than the basic ones. Probably one of the most basic combos we have is what we call the 1-2, and that is you use your freeze spell to freeze an enemy, and then you'll do an arcane bolt to shatter them. So in order to be able to switch spells quickly, we actually have a gesture-based selection mechanic. So if I want to pick my freeze spell, my ice spell, I hold down the move button and I do a counterclockwise circle with the controller. So if I wanted to do sort of freeze shatter on an enemy, I would do quick switch, shoot, 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 switch back, shatter. A lot of times enemies will be moving in and out of cover and they'll be throwing things at you, and some of them will be rushing you at different times. So a common thing you'll do is start off with firewall, and then you start shooting arcane bolts through it, but those turn into firebolts.
When we looked at our motions and what we were using to cast a spell, or to open a door, or to open a chest, we really looked at what came naturally. So for us, that basic bolt cast is like throwing a baseball, chopping a tomahawk. It's a little bit of pinpoint accuracy with a quick wrist move.
Outside of combat, the magic wand becomes a powerful tool for discovering hidden rooms, clearing blocked paths, and much more.
So you might have a situation where it's not quite clear which way you have to go. There's a variety of different ways, and you have to figure out how to unblock a door that's blocked in front of you. Like, do I move this out of the way? Do I uncork something so I can get a waterfall that I can then freeze and use to help me?
Some treasure chests reveal magic ingredients, which can be stirred together to create potions using Sorcery's alchemy system.
Potions for us are upgrades. It's leveling up. Every time you get a new bottle and you find a new set of ingredients, you can mix and match them together to figure out what you want to be. Some of that's trial and error. So you might just find yourself a fire mage and leaning on our fire spell more. Or you might take your time to research all the potion combinations and find that wind's your thing. And so those choices really affect your tactics and your combat.
We do that entirely with the move controller. So if you want to activate a potion, you shake it back and forth, and then when it's time to drink it, you just turn it upside down, and it's like you're pouring it in your mouth.
And when you need to go somewhere that a sorcerer's apprentice just won't fit, mix yourself a polymorph potion and stand back.
Really, my favorite things in the game are our moments of magic, whether that be in a boss fight or a transformation. So when you come up to that cliff and you get to jump off and see what happens, when you find something frozen in ice and watch it shatter the world around you and you have that new power at your fingertips, it's really what my favorite part of it is.
The beautiful and deadly world of sorcery comes to life with intensely immersive gameplay and breathtaking visuals. Once you've mastered just a few spells, you'll begin to feel as if you're actually inside the game world, bending the forces of nature with your wand, guzzling potions, and slaying legendary beasts. And that's when you discover the true magic of sorcery.
The world's deadliest special ops soldiers are the ones you never see or hear. Their identity is classified and their missions are top secret. They are the untraceable ghost of Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. With unrestricted access to the game's creative director, Tommy Jacob, we set out to gather intel on the Ghost's latest mission.
From the story standpoint, the Ghosts are fighting an unknown enemy at this point. They go out, they think that they're going out to break down a weapons ring, and they end up chasing this threat all over the globe. They're going to be in Peshawar, they're going to be in Nigeria, we've got them going into the Arctic, they're going to be traveling all over. So we're really excited to see the range of locations that we're going to take the Ghosts in this game.
Don't grab your gear yet, soldier. We still need to fill you in on the basics.
So we've made a lot of changes to the core features that we put into the game. We focus a lot on combat. It's a Ghost Recon game, so combat needs to be number one. We have our cover system is something we're really excited about in this. The way that you move in and out of cover, it's a very elegant system. When the ghosts freeze in position, they will cloak, and then as long as they maintain the slow movement speed, they'll maintain that cloak. I can't tell you how many times I've looked down a path and I thought, that section looks a little straight, and pow, I got shot because it was some guy all cloaked and I never saw it coming.
Nice work.
So we're really excited about this concept of confidence. So the idea is that if I'm interacting with an objective by myself, it may take 20 seconds or so for me to complete the objective. But if I have my teammates around me, the objective interaction time reduces. And the idea behind that is the character in the world has more focus on what he's doing because he's confident he's not going to get snuck up on by an enemy.
It's easier to be a silent killer when you have the weapons and tools of a future soldier at your disposal.
Because of authenticity, the importance of authenticity to the Ghost Recon franchise, the weapons themselves are all weapons that are actually available to the military, but where we advance the future aspect of Future Soldier is within the equipment side of things. Augmented reality is something that the military is starting to use now to communicate to the soldier in the field. You'll see that, and that's actually interactable with the soldier in the world in Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Everyone has a favorite weapon, but your standard issue firearm fresh from the armory is never exactly how you want it. Make it your own with Gunsmith, the ultimate customization tool.
I can't get beyond the range of customization on the ACR. It's one of our most customizable weapons. If you can change out the trigger system, you can change out the gas system, you can change the barrel, the magazine, stock, optics, side rail. One of our engineers did the calculation. There's over 1 million possibilities of having combinations outcome for the ACR alone.
After you dial in your gun, go solo behind enemy lines in the campaign missions. Or join up to 3 friends locally or online in co-op mode. Then, raise the stakes and the body count in 8-on-8 multiplayer skirmishes that will put all your skills to the test.
So in multiplayer, we have 3 roles. We've got the scout, we've got the rifleman, and we have the engineer. So the rifleman, as you'd expect, lots of bullets, lots of things that go bang. The scout, he's going to have the cloaking ability. He's going to have access to sniper rifles and SMGs. And the engineer has access to the drone, which is one of the #1 pieces of equipment that people like to use to collect intel. Within the combat aspect of things, we're bringing in a true suppression feature. So the idea would be I can take the light machine gun, I can fire it at somebody that's in cover, and it actually pins them in cover in that the camera pushes in really tight. There's a lot of camera shake. It impacts their ability to aim, and this allows your teammates the opportunity to come in from the sides and get that flanking kill. We have a non-lethal takedown, so you can pull out a stun gun, you can stun the enemy as they're down on the ground, you can interact with them and hack into their system and download intel, and now for the period of time that it takes the enemies to go back in and mask their intel again, you've got a power play. You can see where your enemies are. It is the ultimate grief. As a matter of fact, we've had guys that they'll stun them, take their intel, and then leave them alive, and just know you're gonna die.
If you got a kill, do it quiet. Clear.
Get in, gather intel, neutralize the objective, and get out before they even know what hit them.
1 bullet, 2 dead.
Just another day in the life of a ghost.
You've got superpowers. Nice. Will you be a hero or villain? They say with great power comes great... Yeah, no, forget it. We just want to blow stuff up. And that is the real story of Prototype 2. We talked with the game's infectious designers to learn more.
Tell me a bit about Prototype 2.
Prototype 2 really picks up where the last game left off. We left with the previous hero, Alex Mercer, in a situation where you didn't really know where he had ended up. You know, he had saved New York City, but had he done it because he wanted to save the people of the city, or had he done it for his own selfish reasons, or had he done it in order to save the virus?
14 months later, a soldier by the name of Sergeant James Heller basically loses his family to the virus outbreak, and he blames Alex Mercer for that. So he comes back, no family, a destroyed New York, and he's basically out for revenge.
Alex Mercer!
We've got a second outbreak now, and what's happened is it's totally ravaged Manhattan, so it's been sealed off from the rest of the world and become the red zone. Fully infected, tendrils everywhere. It's a war zone between Blackwatch and the infection. But Blackwatch and Gentek need their headquarters somewhere, so they've gone offshore into the green zone, which is really relatively safe and infection-free. And they've taken those that have survived the red zone and put them into the quarantine zone, the yellow zone, which has become overcrowded as shantytown. Civilians there are really guinea pigs for Gentek. In the first game, you could karate kick a helicopter. And we sat around going, okay, how do you top that? What could you possibly do?
That's pretty awesome.
And that's where things like the tendrils came into place, because they're so amazing in terms of even the physics of them, right? And getting things to stick together and getting them to move in a kind of cool way. We have something called Biobomb in the game where you can infect someone and they become a tendril grenade. So if you throw them or leave them there, they'll explode with tendrils, grab obstacles nearby and pull them in, right, in a crushing blow.
Heller can actually dual-wield two powers. So it's take the blade arm that you had in Prototype 1 and the claws and be able to rapidly switch between those. I think that is spectacular in its own. So that for me is really one of the most compelling mutations that exist in Prototype 2.
You can use your hammer fist and you can slam the ground, which then bounces all the infected into the air, and then you can follow up with your blades and slice them all in half in that single same motion. And there's something really nice about having that kind of that silky smooth mechanism and ability to combine your ability.
Heller is infected, so as he goes further, do his powers become darker and more powerful as well?
Yeah, we've really worked hard to make sure that there is a clear, strong progression to the character this time around. And so not only are you getting more powerful as you go through the game, we're making sure that the player is always understanding why they're getting more powerful and what the benefits of those powers are.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I also have this ability to shapeshift and disappear into the crowd. If you're in the disguised form of a Blackwatch soldier, you don't want to be drawing attention to yourself by pulling out your powers. And so that's where enemy weapons start to come in handy, whether it's an assault rifle or a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher. So if there's a helicopter passing by, you can leap up, you can grab the helicopter, and you can rip the weapons off the side of it, rip the missile launcher off, or take the rocket launcher and go use it as your own sort of personal weapon of mass destruction, which is really pretty awesome.
But for me, some of the funnest parts are some of the non-combat powers, like hunting. The ability to kind of echolocate through sonar someone in the world, your target. You feel like a complete predator stalking them. A bit creepy maybe, but
a little creepy, but kind of awesome.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I want to do that.
You want to be a stalker? Awesome.
What are some of your favorite monsters in this game?
I think some of my favorite monsters are actually the variants of the main monsters. So you'll have your brawlers, who are your fast attack guys who can do a lot of damage. I think some of the cool monsters are the Goliath, who's this 3-story tall monster who's just going to change the way you have to play the game. So I think that's pretty cool. Prototype 2 is the promise of Prototype 1 really fulfilled, right? It is the only game that is the ultimate power fantasy, and that's not just hyperbole. It is really just a game that is about tearing it up, having a good time, have a bad day at work, have a bad day at school, come home, have a blast.
Yeah, nothing cheers us up more than flying off buildings, taking out helicopters, and just wrecking up the city.